If one character in this game could describe how I felt when I was playing through it, it would be this person in the town plaza. She was so absorbed in her book that she was practically sitting there all day, and maybe even all night. I know Beacon Pines looks cozy with its cute little animal characters, but the whole small town mystery thing that it had going on got so creepy at times that it caught me off guard, but at the same time, it made me eager to know what would happen next. So Beacon Pines is a game developed by Hiding Spot and published by Fellow Traveler. The story begins with the narrator introducing you to her book. She says that the book's story is about change, and without the player, the whole thing wouldn't even exist. After that, you're introduced to the game's protagonist, a young boy named Luca Van Horn. While visiting his father's grave, his friend Rollo appears and tells him that he found the perfect way to start their summer. He doesn't want to explain anything further though, at least not in public, so they decide to meet up in their treehouse. When Luca arrives there, Rollo starts talking about how the abandoned warehouse near his place started glowing in the middle of the night. Luca then insists that they check it out since it might be the key to finding answers about his missing mother. Beacon Pines is a game that focuses on its story, so you just have to go around town and talk to people. The town itself is beautifully drawn in a style that's really fitting for the game's storybook-inspired setting. The music fits in well too. It gave this warm, comfy mood that made Beacon Pines feel like home. At least until the creepier parts of the story kicked in. When I was going through the game and talking to the town residents, it was kinda obvious that some characters were more important than the others because of their visual novel-like portraits. But it was nice how even the background characters in the game had something to say, whether it was something that showed their personality or their thoughts on what was currently happening in town. I'm sure that the game sounds a lot like other similar titles in the genre, but what's interesting about it is that the narrator not only comments on the game's story, she encourages you to change how it all plays out. Why? Well, a lot of the routes don't exactly end well, but it's necessary to experience them in order to see the entire story. Yeah, Beacon Pines has a branching storyline with multiple endings. As you play through the game, you collect these things with words engraved on them called charms, and they're used to fill in blank words on the book during the story's turning points. The words themselves might not sound like much, but the ones that you choose can completely change how the rest of the story goes. Picking certain words can make the game end shortly after, while choosing another one can make the story branch off to a completely different path that has new twists and turns. And if you want to make different choices, you don't need to play the entire game again. You can just push a button to access this thing called the Chronicle. It'll take you to the page that contains all the story branches you've discovered so far, allowing you to go back and make other choices anytime. What I loved about this aspect of the game is how it complemented the storytelling. Like, I've seen a lot of games that only have minor changes if you picked a different dialogue choice, but in Beacon Pines, I was amazed at how the path to every ending was almost completely different from one another. Most branching paths brought me closer to figuring out the game's secrets too, so they weren't just there for no reason. I thought that the game did a great job at giving out clues and other pieces of the mystery in every route, bringing me closer and closer to seeing the entire picture towards the end. It actually felt great when the game made me realize things and it all started to make sense. Like, I'm doing my best to be vague, but one example I can think of is when one of the characters revealed their motives. When I switched paths and saw the same person again, I was like, hey, I know why you did the thing. So yeah, I had a lot of fun playing Beacon Pines, and I highly recommend the game. I know I mentioned the creepiness and small-town mystery aspect a lot, but it dealt with some other themes too. Themes like fighting for what you believe in, finding a place to call home, and making peace with grief. The story can get complicated and quite emotional, but it has plenty of funny, lighthearted moments to balance out the heavier stuff. Like, Luca and his friends were a big reason why I kept on playing. I loved seeing them have fun and interact with one another, so I couldn't accept it when things didn't end well in one path. They were all just kids who were dealing with things that were way too big for them to handle, so I was motivated to find the best possible ending that they could have. If you're interested in the game and you want to play it yourself, Beacon Pines is out on PC, Xbox, Game Pass, and the Switch. Oh, and it took me like 6 hours to play the whole thing too, so if you want to play a short, interesting game, then this one's perfect. Let me know what you thought about the video, and thank you to my patrons at Patreon for supporting my channel. So, spooky season is coming soon. If you want to find some creepy titles to play, specifically on my channel, then I'll be uploading a video for that just in time for Halloween. Unless you're watching this from the future, then I've probably uploaded it already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.